Alright, how you doing? I'm John Gibbons, and today I'm going to be showing you how to grind off a sculpture punty and grind the bottom of the vase flat on my cold working equipment. And to see some more of my other cold working techniques, be sure to watch my other video. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so when you're getting ready to cold work, it's good to wear an apron to keep all the glass, dust, and water off your clothes. You got to wear safety glasses. If you've got long, scraggly, hippie hair, you want to tie that back. My friend actually got her hair caught in some of the machinery, and it ripped her scalp off. And luckily she lived, but it's a real concern. If you want to see more safety stuff, check out one of my safety videos I've done. So I'm going to get started with my roughest grit first. This is a sintered wheel, and I think it's a 60 grit. So it's going to take off the majority of this punty, and then we'll go to a smoother grit after that. So you don't want to push too hard because it's real easy to slip and nick the vase with the wheel. So I'm just barely pushing, and I'm letting the wheel do all the work. Okay, so you can see how close I'm getting to getting rid of that sculpture punty. So this is where I really slow down and make sure that the wheel is on the center of this thing, so that I don't grind out here or here. I want to grind out right in the very center. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of pulling it away, and I'm correcting it and grinding a new center if I need to. Okay, so I got that whole punty off, and now I'm going to go to the next smoother wheel. Okay, so here's the wheel I just used, and now this is the wheel I'm going to use next. So you can see how much smoother it is. This is a 60 grit, and this one is 300, I think. Alright, so you can see how much smoother it is. And yeah, now we'll go to the next smoothing wheel. This wheel likes to heat up really quick, which can crack the glass from the heat. So I'm just pushing real lightly and then pulling away and putting some water on it. And this wheel is also slightly smaller than the other wheel, so I've got to like kind of work the bottom all over the wheel more to polish that whole circle. Alright, so I just put a little more water on there to keep it cold. It's still a little chalky, but it's getting smooth, and it's good to dry it off and look to see if you see any big scratches. Like I see a little bit right there, and so you've got to grind that out before you go to the next wheel. This wheel doesn't get nearly as hot. So this is the final wheel, and it's kind of like the equivalent to cerium. Cerium's the final polish you use to finish the glass nice and clear. And you can use a lot less water on the final polish. So you want to just keep touching it, make sure it's not getting too hot, and then just keep. You can see I'm kind of pulling up, so that makes sure that this outer edge of the grind gets polished. All right, looks pretty good. You can see there's a slight haze around the edge. You might not be able to see it. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to grind the whole bottom flat on the flat lap now. So when you're done using your equipment, it's good to put a little bit of WD-40 on it because it keeps the rust off. You want to just make sure if this thing gets pulled out of your hands, it isn't going to take your finger with it. So, you know, not holding it, it's not wrapped around my finger or anything. I'm just wiping it real gingerly. I'm just wiping the bottom off, making sure there's no little bits of grit, no little bits of glass, because they'll get pushed up into the magnet, and eventually they'll push up through the diamond, and it'll create a high point, and it'll scratch the bottom of your vase. But also wipe this thing off. All right. Okay, so I got this earthquake putty, and I'm going to put a little bit underneath my level so it doesn't chatter and slide off. Okay. Okay, so I get it nice and on center, get the bubble on center, and then start grinding. Okay, so you can see I'm kind of carving out a crescent, and eventually it will touch, and this thing will sit nice and level. Yeah, I just gotta take a little more time. Okay, so my crescent's getting a little bigger, and it'll touch soon. I could probably be a good idea to get a new flat lap. This thing's about 8 or 9 years old. Still working, but yeah, I should probably get a new one. So I got it to touch, and now it's going to sit nice and flat. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to grind it a little more. Let's put it on here. I think it's good. I put the smoother wheel on, so I'm going to grind this thing on the bottom with the next smoother wheel. Okay, so I'm on the second wheel, the smoother grit, and I still have a couple scratches, so I'm going to keep grinding on it. I also slipped a little, so I'll have to mend that in a little bit. I'm going to reduce the water and slow the wheel way down. Less likely to hydroplane if it's going really slow. If you have too much water, the glass will just kind of float above the diamonds, and it won't grind it smooth. So I'm going to go real slow, increase the speed a tiny bit, and I've also reduced the water a lot. So now I can hear it grinding. So I got a couple scratches on there. I'm not going to fuss over it. I do see that I'm kind of grinding two different planes right here, so I don't like that. So I think I'm ready to switch to the next wheel and take it to the next polish. I like to do 180s when I get the glass when I go on this wheel, because it seems to always kind of ride to one side. So it's pretty good. I think I'm going to give it a little bit more of a buff with some more cerium. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something on how to cold work and how to take off a big sculpture punty. Leave comments below. Please subscribe, and have a great day. I'm John Gibbons.